Yeah, it's turning into plus month at Buy Two-Way Radios. We had last episode, we were talking about the KG-1000G Plus, and now this episode we have the KG-XS20G Plus. Much like the KG-1000G Plus, it's not a lot of new groundbreaking, earth-shattering features, but it sort of the next evolution. There's a few things people have been asking for that I think people are going to like that it is in the radio now.
From the outside, its outward appearance is pretty much identical to the original. No real change there.
Sit the radio side by side. You're not going to notice anything different other than if you flip it over and look at the model number on the sticker.
And we're looking at two side by side right here. And we have the original one?
The original, and this is the
Plus.
Plus. But in general, the KG-XS20G is a compact mobile. So it's small, it's lightweight, not a full-size radio, which is why the power caps out at 20 watts instead of 50 like the KG-1000G. There's not a lot of extra room in there. There's not a fan for heat dissipation. So smaller radio, which is a big advantage in certain vehicles. If you don't have a obvious place to install a radio, a compact mobile is for you. Another thing is there's a lot of symmetry between this radio and the KG-935G. The display is very similar. The menu items are similar. The way it works is similar. So if you have a KG-935G, you're going to be right at home with the KG-XS20G.
It is a solid little radio, and this is one that I happen to use in my car. I have one in my vehicle. As a matter of fact, on the way home last night, I was listening to a conversation. I was actually part of a conversation on the way home, on the drive home, and I was on a repeater channel, and this thing could get out, I don't know, we were on this side of Rock Hill, got home to South Charlotte, and it was just fine on the repeater the whole way. So just because 20 watts it maxes out, it still gets out pretty far. It has a really good reach.
Oh yeah, 20 watts, especially in a vehicle where you're going to have an external antenna. The external antenna on the vehicle is going to help you a lot more than an extra 30 watts would.
Sure.
Get into a repeater. The radio performs great. And the feedback we get on it is great. So I guess the question is, what did we do in the Plus? Why the need to go with the Plus, Rick?
That's a very good question, Danny. I'm sure you're going to answer that one for us.
I will. The main thing that we did is on the regular KG-XS20, it didn't support themes. Like the 935G handheld radio has the dark background theme as the default. And the KG-XS20G was a white background theme, which I think a lot of people did not like. The white background theme is going to be very bright, or if you turn the brightness down so that the white theme doesn't distract you at night, then you've got another problem because you got to change the brightness again the next day to increase it for when you're driving in the daytime so that the display becomes visible.
I'll be honest here, though. I use mine. I have the original XS20G. I use mine in the vehicle at night. I was driving home last night. I didn't really have a problem seeing.
Obviously, I'm overblowing the issue a little bit. We really didn't get too many complaints. But when we did a user survey of everybody that bought it, there were a number of people that said, hey, it'd be nice if you had a dark background option. So that's what we did. Basically, we took the KG-935G themes, where there's 4 different built-in themes that you can select from. And we took those themes and we put them in the KG-XS20G. So now the default theme is the dark background theme. It's the same theme that comes default on the KG-935G. And if you prefer the light background theme, that's available.
That's still in there. Okay, I'm going to throw this out there. This was the reverse of what people were saying with the 935G, because the 935G came with a default black background, and people were saying, some of them were saying, hi, can't deal with this black background. I'd like to be able to have a white one. So I have a feeling, this is just my little commentary, my Rick rant for the day, but I think there is always going to be a contingent of, there are going to be some people that no matter what you do, they're not going to be happy with it. There are going to be people that'll complain about it, whether it's a white screen or a black screen.
Well, Rick,
I'm just saying.
That's why we put the theme option in. Now, if people want the white background, all they have to do is go to the menu and change it to a white background. Mm-hmm. You're not stuck with a black background if you don't want that.
I guarantee you, though, there will be someone coming up to complain that I want one with a green background or an orange background or something like that. Somebody's going to come up and say that. Somebody will. I'm just saying. That's
a product idea. If you want a green background, let us know. I encourage those kinds of ideas. Please let us know.
I don't know why pink, but probably somebody would.
That's a good idea.
But that's not all that's changed with this radio. That's not all that's different.
Yeah, the other big thing that we did was add night mode to address the problem I went into a moment ago, where the ideal brightness at night is often not the same as the ideal brightness during the day. Mm-hmm.
I'll give you that one. Yeah, that can be an issue sometimes.
So one thing that we did to make this radio and the KG-935G an even better radio is we made the brightness more customizable. So you can adjust the brightness separately for standby and active brightness.
I like that. I mean, I like that idea for that feature. And I know there are going to be some people that use it. I might even use that.
Well, the problem is we did that a long time ago. The original XS20G had the customizable active and standby brightness being separate, two separate brightness levels. But the problem is if you're changing it every night when you drive home from work, and then you're changing it again in the morning, now you've got two settings in the menu you've got to change to make it work the way you want. You've got to adjust two brightness levels. So even though the radio is more customizable, if you're having to change the brightness frequently, then it may be annoying. Mm-hmm. So what we did, the solution is we added night mode. Now there's a new function that you can assign to one of the PF keys on the radio. Now there's a PF key on the front of the radio, the PF1 button, and there's also a customizable key on the side of the hand mic. Mm-hmm. And you can assign through the menu a function to one of those keys called night mode.
And it puts a little in the display to let you know you're in night mode. In case you forget you're in night mode, there's a little half moon icon in there.
The main thing that night mode does is instantly reduce the brightness. Whatever you have the brightness set to, it reduces it by 50%. Mm-hmm. And then when you're in night mode, like Rick said, you'll get a little moon up on the top bar just to let you know visually that you're in night mode. And then pressing the key again will exit night mode and return to the normal brightness level.
And I think that's pretty cool that can be assigned to a function key, because instead of having to mess around, especially if you're driving, you can't be messing around with the menu there.
Someone mentioned this, and I said, well, that's a great point. You don't want to have to change two menu settings while you're driving, and it's a convenience thing.
I think it's kind of a safety thing too, in a way.
And I like the idea. Thanks to a customer for giving us the seeds for that idea. I don't know of any other radio that does that. There may be one out there, but I think that it's a good feature.
Just send him a free T-shirt?
I'd send him a free radio.
Oh, well, that's even better. Okay.
Maybe.
Maybe. Maybe he has plenty of radios and he needs more shirts. He doesn't have anything to wear.
Send us your ideas, ladies and gentlemen. You might be surprised.
But that's not all we did there. We have a couple of more items here. One of them is an assignable TDR function key.
We've gotten the two big updates out of the way. The themes, the night mode. I like those. Those are things people will use. Then we took care. I'm going to say these. We took care of a few annoying things or things that we should have done differently the first time. But assignable TDR function key is one of them. The TDR key allows you to turn on or off dual receive on the radio. Previously, the only way to do that was from a button, a hard button on the front of the radio. Now, if you've got your radio out of reach in your vehicle, that doesn't really work for you.
Yeah. But now you can assign that function to either of the function keys, and you can pretty much, it makes it a little bit easier for you to do that. You
can assign it to a programmable key. I believe we also made that a menu option. So you can, even if you don't want to give up one of your PF key slots for that feature, you can go into the menu from the hand mic and make the change without having to get to the front of the radio.
And we have another item here called faster channel switching. Tell me what that's about, because I didn't really notice that there was, I mean, you're switching channels. I'm switching channels in the vehicle, don't really think much about it, but now it's faster.
Yeah, well, this was something that came up a couple of times in our user survey, and I don't notice it so much either, because mainly when I'm using these radios or testing these radios, I'm on GMRS. But we have some users who want to program in hundreds of receive-only channels, and using the dial on the front of the radio to change channels.
It takes a while.
You know, if you want to scroll through 100 channels, it was a lot of turning. Now, you could hold down an arrow key, and holding down an arrow key will quickly change channels.
Yeah, that's how I do it sometimes.
Yeah, the arrow key is probably the best way, even still, to quickly change channels. But now, turning the channel knob will cycle through the channels a little bit quicker than it used to.
And we have one more item here. That is the one thing about this radio that kind of annoys me when I start up the car, because it's set to just pop on when I start up the car, and I hear this really loud power on beep. And I can't, even if I turned it down a bit, you know, it's still a really loud power on beep. That's been fixed.
This one, now you were talking about people that were going to complain about the default theme that we selected. This is one where I think we might get some complaints. In the user survey, one of the biggest issues is exactly what you're saying, where people were complaining about the power on beep being loud and annoying. I get that. And I thought about it. And I think, what purpose is this power on beep even serving, you know, other than annoying people?
I guess just to let you know that it's, you know, like if you're starting the car and you're looking somewhere else or whatever, and you hear that beep to let you know, oh, the radio's on too. But I don't find that to be very crucial to operating my vehicle.
If you've got your radio in your car powered up and you've got it, the power ran in a way that the radio powers on whenever your vehicle turns on, then why not just expect your radio to be on?
Exactly.
You don't need the beep.
Right.
And you don't have a beep telling you your radio is on in your vehicle, or your CD player, or your windshield wipers.
Yeah. I don't get into, wow, if I had a big beep for everything that came on in my car, I think I'd have to get out of my car. You know, everything would be going beep, 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 beep everywhere.
Right. So
I don't think I could handle that.
Maybe some people want to be told the radio just powered on. So maybe it's somewhat useful, but I mean, that's in the auto power on situation. In the situation where you push the power button to turn it on yourself, you don't really need you just push the button. You don't need a beep.
As long, you're going to see the display come up. So, you know.
I made the executive decision. I said, pull the beep. Get rid of the beep.
And you're thinking now that you might get complaints from other people that like the beep.
I thought at the time I would get complaints from someone who liked the beep. But I'm kind of gambling that there's going to be more people that are thankful there's no beep than people that wanted the beep.
Well, you'll get no complaints on that from me. I was not a fan of the beep.
I did go back and forth about should we add a menu? Should it be a selectable beep? It was already controlled by the beep function in the radio. But if you turned it off there because the startup beep was annoying, then you would lose your menu beeps.
So we've got all this. We've got
So we did what we did. Let us know why we were wrong.
So we've got the selectable display themes, the night mode function, the assignable TDR function key, faster channel switching, and the power on beep is no more. For all this, what is the price now? I mean, obviously there are some updates, some upgrades with the Plus. What is the bottom line on the price?
Well, the price doubled. No, I'm just kidding. The price is the same as it was before. $199.99. The price is unchanged, and because the price is unchanged, we're discontinuing the original KG-XS20G. It seemed to be that there's no reason to keep both of them around when this one is clearly superior and priced the same.
So the XS20G Plus is available right now by TWRS.com, and as of right now, the XS20G, the original one, is retired, and this is officially replacing it.
Correct.